On the morning of June 30th, 1908, a remote region of Siberia witnessed the most powerful explosion in recorded history. An explosion so massive, it flattened over 80 million trees across 2,000 square kilometers. The blast was more than 1,000 times stronger than the atomic bomb dropped on Hiroshima. But here's the mystery. No crater was ever found. No impact site, nothing but devastation. Local accounts describe a fireball racing across the sky, followed by a shockwave that shattered windows hundreds of kilometers away. Reindeer herders reported that the heat was so intense their clothes caught fire. Entire herds were wiped out in an instant. The explosion was heard as far away as England. For days, skies across Europe glowed with strange lights, bright enough to read by at night. Scientists rushed to study it. Yet decades later, the cause of the Tunguska event remains unsolved. The most accepted theory? A meteor, or comet, entered the atmosphere and exploded before hitting the ground, releasing unimaginable energy. But there are problems with this idea. No fragments were found, no crater was discovered, and the strange way trees fell outward in a butterfly pattern only deepened the puzzle. Some scientists suggest a comet made mostly of ice disintegrated before impact. Others believe it could have been a piece of an asteroid that exploded mid-air, releasing the energy of a hydrogen bomb. And then come the more extraordinary theories: alien spacecraft, a secret weapon test, or even a black hole passing through the Earth, leaving behind nothing but destruction. But in 1927, almost 20 years later, when the first Soviet expedition finally reached the site, what they found only deepened the mystery. There was no crater, just scorched earth, flattened trees, and strange patterns in the forest. Some trees remained standing but stripped bare, like telephone poles. For the local Evenki people, this was no meteor. They believed the god Agdi had struck down the forest in anger, a punishment from the heavens. Even decades later, survivors spoke of glowing skies, burning winds, and a second sun flashing above them. Modern scientists have studied tree rings, soil, and microscopic particles to uncover evidence. Traces of cosmic materials have been found, but still no solid meteorite fragments. This has fueled alternative theories. Could it have been a comet made of fragile ice and dust, leaving almost no trace behind? Or something entirely unknown to science? What makes Tunguska so unsettling is this. If it had struck over a city instead of remote Siberia, millions of lives would have been lost. It would have been one of the worst disasters in human history. Today, astronomers warn us that thousands of near-Earth objects orbit close to our planet. Some are large enough to cause destruction on a global scale. The Tunguska event may have been a warning, a reminder of the cosmic threats we still face, and yet the mystery remains. No impact crater, no definitive fragments, just theories and questions. Was Tunguska a natural disaster, a comet or asteroid shattering in the sky? Or was it something far stranger, beyond our understanding? More than a century later, the truth may still lie hidden in the Siberian wilderness, waiting to be discovered. This is HushAtlas, where history's deepest mysteries come alive. Subscribe for more untold stories, and remember, the past still holds secrets we have yet to uncover. A blinding flash lit up the morning sky over Siberia in 1908. Eyewitnesses tell of a brilliant light that blotted out the sun, followed by a deafening roar that shook the very foundations of the earth. A shockwave raced across the landscape, flattening trees and shattering windows hundreds of miles away. People in England heard the roar as if thunder had cracked across the sky. The air grew hot as a furnace. Clothing caught fire. In the remote Tunguska region, reindeer herders watched in horror as their herds were wiped out instantly. Entire populations of animals perished in an instant, incinerated by the heat. The event was so cataclysmic that it left behind an eerie silence. As news of the strange occurrence spread, scientists from around the world rushed to investigate. But when the first expeditions reached the area, they found something that defied explanation. There was no impact crater, no sign of a meteorite or fragments strewn across the landscape. Decades later, the Tunguska Event continues to baffle scientists. Theories abound, each more intriguing than the last. Could it have been a comet made of ice and dust? Perhaps a piece of an asteroid that exploded in midair. Some even speculate that it was a secret weapon test gone wrong. Or could it have been something far more extraordinary, something that defies our current understanding of science? The most popular theory suggests that a meteor or comet entered the Earth's atmosphere and exploded before making impact, similar to a massive airburst. But this raises several questions. If the explosion was so powerful, why was there no crater? Where are the fragments? And why did the trees fall in such a peculiar pattern? Some argue that a comet made primarily of ice disintegrated before hitting the ground, leaving behind no solid fragments. However, others believe that it was a piece of an asteroid that exploded midair, releasing an energy equivalent to a hydrogen bomb. And then there are the more outlandish theories, including the suggestion that the event was caused by a spaceship from another world. Could aliens have been visiting our planet and crashed in Tunguska? It's a tantalizing thought, but one that has no basis in fact. Perhaps the most intriguing aspect of the Tunguska event is the strange butterfly pattern in which the trees fell. This unusual phenomenon has led some scientists to believe that the explosion was not caused by a meteor or comet at all, but by something far more sinister. Imagine for a moment a black hole, a region of space with gravity so strong that not even light can escape its grasp. If a black hole were to pass through the Earth, it would create a tunnel from one side of the planet to the other. As the black hole moved through the Earth, it would cause the ground to collapse, creating a massive crater. But what if the black hole were to explode? The result would be catastrophic. The explosion would release an enormous amount of energy, causing widespread destruction and devastation. The explosion would also create a shock wave that would flatten trees and other objects in its path. And here's the truly terrifying part. The shock wave would not stop at the surface of the Earth. It would continue into the atmosphere, creating a mushroom cloud that would rise high into the sky. Could this have been the cause of the Tunguska event? It's certainly a possibility, but unfortunately, there is no evidence to support it. In 1927, more than a decade after the event, the first Soviet expedition reached the area to investigate. They found no evidence of a black hole, nor any other signs of an extraterrestrial visitor. What they did find was a vast area of devastation, scorched earth, and millions of dead trees. But perhaps the most perplexing discovery was the absence of a crater. If a black hole had exploded in the area, surely there would have been some physical evidence left behind. But there was nothing. No sign of a massive impact, no evidence of a celestial visitor. As the years passed, more expeditions were sent to Tunguska to try to solve the mystery. In 1963, a team of Soviet scientists used special instruments to measure the magnetic field in the area. They hoped to find evidence of a meteorite impact, but their efforts were in vain. But it's not just the absence of evidence that has puzzled scientists. It's also the presence of something unexpected. In the years following the explosion, residents in the area reported strange lights in the sky. Some even claimed to see a second sun flashing above them. Could these sightings be evidence of a black hole lingering near our planet? Perhaps. But there is no way to know for sure. One of the most compelling pieces of evidence was discovered in the tree rings of trees that survived the explosion. Analysis of the rings revealed a spike in radioactive elements, suggesting that the explosion was caused by a cosmic event. But this discovery only raised more questions. If the explosion was caused by a comet or asteroid, why was there no impact crater? Why did the trees fall in a butterfly pattern? And what caused the mysterious lights in the sky? To this day, the Tunguska Event remains one of the greatest mysteries of our time. The true cause of the explosion may never be known, but that hasn't stopped scientists from trying. Every year, researchers from around the world converge on Tunguska to search for answers. And who knows what they might find? Maybe one day soon, the truth will be revealed. We will finally know what caused the Tunguska Event. Maybe it was a meteor or comet, maybe something more sinister. One thing is for sure, the mystery only adds to the intrigue of this amazing event. Thanks for watching.